life shine. You gotta be working to get the woman and the wine. Keep the beat and get your hands in the air. Shuffle it deep cause it's an African affair. To Buffalo Park and our home at St. George's. We're bringing the silverware back on the gorgeous. That's the way of the warrior. That's the way of the warrior. That's the way of the warrior. That's the everyday warrior.
Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino's shot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Center Stage. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. See, we've got pictures on. Welcome to Gino's Spot. We're all online here. We've got Christian is with us from overseas as well. Hello, Christian. How are you doing?
Hello. How's it going?
Paul Gardiner's on tonight, as you can see, and we're almost hitting straight into it. Just to say hello to all the guys watching Gino's Spot every single Tuesday night, 6:30. We do it every. Come hell or high water, we are here every single Tuesday at 6:30, and it's been going now for nearly 4 years. 4 years, I think, and over like 400 shows. I think it's been crazy. And thank you to our sponsors, of course, Fish and Leeds. Fish and Leeds are our sponsors. They've been there since the very beginning. And
we are drinking.
We are. We got a bit of whiskey.
We've coupled it with
a bit of Jamesons, a bit of whiskeys. Cheers to you.
Mine's a little bit more yellow than yours.
There we go. And Christian, you can cheers us if you've got anything. Oh, he hasn't got anything.
Energy drink.
Oh, there we go.
Not even that.
I don't know. Lord knows what this is. But now people are wondering who Christian is. Paul Gardiner, obviously your dad, Adrian, yourself, you've been in Eastern Cape Boykies for since birth.
I was born here.
And
my sister and brother too.
And obviously Mantis, the whole thing has been people know you here from that, but you are doing something called natural born runners, and I always said you certainly do look like a runner because you got the build, yeah. And I love running, so immediately it caught my eye, and I just thought and mixing this with conservation, it sounds like a strange thing to do, but how is this working? Because when I saw you last, you were also here out at near Amakala. There was just at Shamwari
and Founders,
Shamwari, and we were out there filming, and I was thinking to myself, what the hell is this all about?
Yeah.
So give us a bit of a synopsis here. What has been happening in your life?
Yeah, Gino, you only saw a little glimpse of the chaos.
Yes, I did.
But it's a lovely story, and it's something that I'm incredibly passionate about. I've grown up in conservation, because when Dad started this amazing game reserve down the road in Shamwari, I was close to the action all the time.
Yes.
And sadly, all we had then was a VHS or what do they call the old handycams or whatever they were.
Not like a Browning, like a.
So this was one of those family home video cameras.
Brownie, what is the Brownie or something that's?
I'm not that old.
No, we drew a high 8. There's normally the high 8, I think.
I don't know.
Those little
Yeah,
VHS
it
tapes.
was anyway.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
tiny little VA. That's right.
Yes.
And you know, I wish that I was sort of 13 now because you've got the phone
Yes.
and the technology, and we would have
tech.
captured this high definition, incredible footage of Dad's whole journey in wildlife and rewilding the Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
It would have been amazing.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have it at our fingertips then.
Yeah.
And I'm now 50.
Yeah.
50 I'm actually 51.
Yes.
And let's say 50. But anyway,
Much
I now
younger
have it
than
at my fingertips, and it's never too late.
Mm.
You know, and I've always had this passion for media and conservation, and of course running.
See, the sooner that you actually do it, the better, because you're just wasting the time. The sooner you
You
go,
actually need to just get
get your ass
We're at a
into
conference
gear.
now, and the guy said, and it was actually Robbie Broden from the founder of Nando's.
Okay.
And his motto is "Get shit done."
Yes, get shit done.
Yeah,
You got
I
to.
love it.
You
Hashtag
gotta-
get shit done. And you can't sit on your laurels and just wait. Just get it done. Give it a go.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where Christian comes
Yes.
into my life. So
Yes.
we
So
met
welcome, Christian, all the way
Hello.
from England. All the way from England. But I think before we even get you, Christian, we've got to introduce the summer, and we've got a little video that we can do. First of all, a video from our friend Dean Allen. Dean Allen, he's over in, where is he now? He's in, I don't know, Lord knows where, Bosnia,
Eastern Europe somewhere.
Eastern Europe somewhere, and he looks like he's just walked off the bloody beach. And
to get him a tan on his head.
Living the life, but he said he wanted to do an introduction. So let's have a look and see what he had.
Hello Gino, hello Gary, hello to all the viewers. It's Dean Allen here, and as you can see, I've escaped the South African winter. I'm here in Bulgaria where the weather's a little bit better than it is there in Nelson Mandela Bay. We've also got electricity here, but I'm not going to mention that. I understand that you've got Paul Gardiner on the show tonight, and I'm really excited to hear what Paul's got to say because I've just finished writing the book about the story of his father, Adrian Gardiner. He was the man that created Shamwari Game Reserve and is responsible for starting the wildlife tourism industry that we know and love in the Eastern Cape. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what Paul has to say, and I'm sure he'll give you some insights into the book. So without further ado, let me introduce Paul Gardiner, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
We're just saying, Dean wrote right in the book about your dad, and he's got he's got the book. Is I think he's almost done with it.
No, it's done.
There he is.
We're all involved.
The man who changed the landscape, and we've got to have your dad on as well to come and chat about the book as well.
There's a little bit of more work that needs to be done, but it's
Yeah.
there now. We've got the hard copy and
yeah.
we're all proofreading.
Proofreading
it,
it, getting the
the
grammar right and the spelling and the.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez, his English is bad.
You wouldn't think so. No, but yeah, I mean, I know when you're writing a book, there's always tiny little
there's
things.
a lot of intricacies.
Yeah.
I don't think we realised what we were taking on. It's a lot of work.
It's
And
a hell of a thing.
obviously, we want to paint Dad in this amazing picture.
Yeah.
All of us as family, and it's a lovely.
Speaking about that, I mean, it's like your dad is from an era that had no social media, and so his work has got to be you've got to search through the memories and go and find everything you can to try and sort of stick a stake in the ground.
I think we've always tried to encourage it, but Dad being a serial entrepreneur, never time.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And so bringing Dean on to do this has been a good idea.
Get shit done.
He can get the shit done. Yeah. But Dad would never. Dad's too bored to go and sit down and write the bloody book. That ain't ever gonna happen.
Yeah.
So he got Dean to do it, and I'm sure it'll be a really nice piece for all of us to hold on to, and particularly if you're a foreigner coming into Africa wanting to rewild. And a young kid who wants to learn about entrepreneurship. It's going to be a really cool read for that.
Encouraging from that point of view, because I mean, your dad, I know he's started many times and he's failed and started again and failed, and he's done
lots
so
of failures
well.
in there. I promise you.
Yeah, and I loved hearing about that as well. We did an interview a while ago. It was during COVID, and I said we've got to have him in the studio because it's a different kind of interview in the studio, which is much better. We've got to
just make sure it's 6:30 and he's got his whiskey
and the whiskey's there,
and he'll wax lyrical.
Excellent. I love that. And let's have a look at the intro. Let's make Paul your intro for the Natural Born Runners.
This will kind of sum it up very quickly for you.
Good. Let's have a look.
Hey there, my name is Paul Gardiner, and I grew up in spectacular South Africa. And during my teens, my father began one of Africa's most ambitious rewilding projects. He started to reintroduce the amazing creatures that roamed the province where we were from, including the likes of lions, leopards, elephant, rhino, and buffalo. This early exposure to conservation as a teen instilled in me a real passion for conservation in my latter years. My other real passion is running, and more specifically, running in nature. And so I've combined these passions, and I journey on foot to some of the last wilderness areas on our planet, to meet the people on the ground to understand what they're doing to save these lost wild places. My trusty cameraman and friend Christian captures the beauty of the places we visit. He's also sure to set me a tough and grueling challenge on every adventure, while he sits on the sidelines soaking up the scenery and pretending to work hard. Experience this epic series, play your own part in conservation, and join a global community. And let's all strive towards a protected planet.
All right. And we got some pictures as well. Natural Born Runners. That looks insane, Paul.
It's again just going back to what you love. You know that the Japanese have a thing called ikigai. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, I have.
And that's like waking up in the morning early because you're so excited to get going with your thing.
Yes.
And
It's your thing.
This is it, and this is my thing. We're having a total gamble at this, myself and Christian, because we don't know. It could flunk off, but it doesn't matter. At least we've tried.
It's not just about that. It's like here we go, natural born runners, and Christian as well being hauled into this as well.
Well, I tell you, I said to a really good friend of mine, Jan Felgate. She's a lovely lady in London.
Yeah.
And I said to her, listen, I'm looking for a filmmaker to follow me around, and we want to capture content. I go to all these great places in the world. And can you recommend somebody? She worked for IMG, the big sports management company.
Okay.
And then she joined our charity business, the charity side of our business. And Jan said, I found somebody for you. I don't know him from bar or soap, but let him come have a chat. And Christian rocked up at my office, and we kind of immediately clicked, hey, buddy.
Tell it from your perspective now, Christian. What happened? How did you meet up?
I actually don't really remember. It's all a bit of a blur.
because he's bloody high on his
It's a bit of a blur.
vape all the time.
Yeah. I do remember.
Let me remind you, Christian, I invited you to my office in Godalming.
Oh yeah, of course. I remember that.
We had a good chat. I told him about this crazy life that I live, and I think he said, "Okay, well, let me give it a crack."
Yeah, I remember going home and telling my mum that I've just spoken to an absolute psycho, and and she was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Yeah." I mean, I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm pretty sure, like 2 weeks later, we were in South Africa.
Probably right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Or maybe like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. And I think I got Paul was like, "Hey, listen, we're going to go to South Africa for a week or so. Yeah, do you want to come?" And obviously me, a well-travelled Englishman, never been to South Africa. I was like, what a sucker this man is, taking me to South Africa and I'm getting paid for it. Yeah.
Freeloader.
Yeah, exactly.
The total freeloader.
But your background, what's your background in film then, Christian? Is it?
Tell us, Antoine.
Yes, tell us, Antoine. Christian Antoine, with your French.
Well, actually, I initially started out as a teacher. I was teaching in primary school for about 6 months.
Foundation phase.
He'll
blow your mind. He's got some good stories.
Yeah, I mean, listen, kids are the worst things imaginable. I've got a lot of bad things to say about kids, but I'll keep it very low key. I quit after 6 months, and then
so it wasn't for you.
What to do? I was so but then as Paul says, what's the Japanese term? Ikigai.
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 Ikigai. It wasn't your Ikigai.
No, not at all. But then, I always loved film, and I always loved, having a camera and going out and shooting stuff. Obviously, I never really had the confidence or kind of backing to do it.
Yeah.
But then, one day, it just kind of hit me. And I was like, you know what? You're like 21, 22 now. You're getting old. So...
No, you're not.
Damn
Damn
you! I was
you!
like, God, I just finished shooting. I'm getting old. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have kids soon. So I just was like, screw it. So I went out and filmed a load of stuff, and then applied for a film school in England, and the National Film and Television School. Somehow got in, studied there for a year, and then worked at IMG. So IMG is like a lot of like live sport, football, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I basically worked there for a year or so.
All right.
Then I get a.
Well, you're just running around filming things and.
Yeah, so we were filming like motocross, rugby,
Big sports management company.
Okay,
yeah,
One of the biggest in the world.
like that. Yeah, and then a strange email comes to me and says,
"Yes,
this weirdo wants to come see us." I said, "Yeah, why not? Let's go." Well, look, have a look back.
An icky guy.
I like it. He is Mr. Icky guy. I am Mr. Icky guy.
No, that'd be for like best pals. Who would have thought?
Here we go. I tell you what, and I don't know if Gary's ready, but we can just have a quick look at. We've got some comments coming in here, and I've got to have a look at some of these first, just to say hello. Everybody's online watching, so we got to say how's it. Philip Loebscher, he's going to come on a bit later. I think he's greetings from the USA. I see Jennifer Gardiner.
Cousin.
Is that a cousin?
Hello,
the cousin. Hope you're well. Hello, Jennifer. Mark van Wyk from the Nederland.
No, he's somewhere in the Gardiner route, an old school buddy of mine. Filmmaker, great filmmaker.
Oh, right. Okay. I see that. And BP, I don't know. Paul Christian, we need you stateside. That's right. Come shoot some more content. Excellent. I'm not sure who BP is. Kim Danower, that's an Eastern Caper.
Kim, yes.
Kimmy, lovely to have you on, in fact,
that's
Kim.
so cool. I haven't seen Kim forever.
I know, she's just lovely. She was, wasn't it Miss PE or something, Kim? I think she was.
You knew that long ago, pal.
Yeah, I know, of course. I remember the day because she was our age as well, Well, she was a little younger than me, to be honest, But I'm sure she was Miss PE.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
I remember that well.
And Will Moorman says,
he's one of my oldest mates. One of my best mates too, living in Grahamstown.
Grahamstown, eh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks for joining, Will.
And he says you're running away from lions there. That's why you're running. There we go. Well, I thought it's exactly. He says you need to run away from the wildlife. Oh, my word. Elijah Nell, there we go. Elijah, of course, stays with us here, and he came to help you guys.
Cornelia is on. Hello, Cornelia.
Cornelia.
Lovely girl, too.
Okay. I see Will Moorman. It says your favorite place in the world. Oh, what is your favorite place in the world where you run?
Eastern Cape.
You like it still?
Of course,
I do. I'm
going to show you some clips. You'll see.
Excellent. We'll get to those clips later. Loving the chat. Children aren't that bad. Says that's my dear wife. She's a teacher,
And she's a lovely person.
There we go.
I will endorse her.
She was.
What
she
a special
is.
person.
She is. And so yeah. I mean, I think as natural born runners, then you hooked in Christian. Was that when you first had this idea?
So Christian and I sat around a bar, and I in London, and I said, Christian, I've got this crazy idea, because we were doing a lot of BS. We were just wasting time and money.
Okay.
And then we thought, somebody actually planted a seed with me. There was a person in Los Angeles that takes people on walks into the mountain. Those people weren't just any people, they were celebrities.
Okay.
And it was a form of interviewing guests.
Okay.
And the penny kind of dropped for me then. If this person's walking, taking celebrities, and why can't I run and take celebrities on these things?
Yes.
And so I called up Christian. We had a few drinks, and I planted the seed with him. And he said, "You know what? Let's just go for it. I think there's an opportunity, and the platform should be YouTube." He said, because YouTube is massive if you can crack it.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, well, I buy into that, and I studied a lot of these characters. Mr. Beast is one of the biggest in the world today on YouTube, and we were supposed to have a call with his head of philanthropy an hour before this show, but he's actually in hospital, so he couldn't make it. But we're making inroads there. But we need to now study the algorithm for YouTube, because we believe that if we're producing content talking about rewilding and wildlife and conservation and biosphere and all of these things that could ultimately save this planet, we need to present it in such a way that it is fun and engaging for the young people. Because right now, if you put a kid in front of Animal Planet or National Geographic or whatever, they're going to switch off straight away. They'll be on their phones flicking through.
Yeah.
They call it grinding YouTube.
Yeah, is it grinding? Is it grinding?
TikTok and all of that. I heard this term last night.
It's funny, grinding was something different when we were young.
Exactly. So we need to now teach conservation in a fun way for a YouTube audience.
Okay.
And so while I'm the serious guy, Christian's the fun guy. And so there's a lot of banter between us. And I'd like to show you this next clip because it gives you a little flavor of what's about to come, because we've been filming in South Africa, and here's a little taster. Gary, if you wouldn't mind showing the Willie's Jeep video.
So, as we set off to the Aussie, excitement was in the air. Paul was buzzing to start his run, and I was thrilled to be driving a real beast of a car. However, Jimmy's reasoning for not trusting me with the vehicle in the first place became very apparent very quickly.
I know, man. This is great.
Christian, hang on. Pull off here.
Shit.
What the hell?
Fuck. Fucking hell.
Put the bonnet to your kitchen. Pull that thing up. Two fingers.
Shit.
Of course. Oh my word. That's good. Oh, there we go. We're back. We're back. No, that is insane. Jimmy Price.
Jimmy, Jimmy the legend.
Jimmy, what a legend.
If you don't know it, I mean, I've got to tell you the story. I think it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix at the moment. Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a great movie. But believe it or not, Eastern Capers, all the cars in that film were made in Port Elizabeth. I mean, it's a remarkable bloody story, that. And they are beautiful to watch. So Jimmy repaired this old Willie's Jeep for our family, which has been in our family for the last 30 years. I learned to drive.
So it was your family then?
Oh, a long time ago. Dad stumbled across this thing, and it was 1943. Yeah?
No
so
way.
it's a proper old machine from the Second World War.
Those ones used to come in like they used to be
flat
boxed.
Yeah.
They used to do those competitions where they used to make them in like, I don't know, like 2 minutes or something. You used to have to put them together.
Well, you had to do that in the Second World War, otherwise you were goners. Yeah? And they used to drop them out of aircrafts in these boxes. They'd land and they'd put them together and off you'd go.
My soul.
So,
yes, drop it with a parachute.
And then I give it to Christian for 5 minutes and he goes and fucks the thing up. Christian, my dad's got a bone to pick with you. You're in deep shit.
No one told me how to drive it. They just put me in there and was like, just drive it. And plus the steering's on the other side, so I couldn't like change gears. Because obviously in England you're used to driving the right side.
Yes.
He doesn't even know his right.
So my left hand's got the gears. Whereas
it's a left-hand drive.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
And the gears, they work normally. I mean, they're not.
Yeah, they work exactly normally.
So it's
I don't know what Christian's problem was.
It's like a Model T Ford.
They're the weirdest gears ever.
He was so baffled. Anyway, he blew up the car, and that was the end of that.
Lord.
And that was the start of our show in South Africa. So that show, we're going to launch Natural Born Runners officially sometime in September.
Okay.
And we open with our South African video. Yeah. And Gary, there's a few slides of South Africa. You just flick through those if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Look at that.
That's our logo.
Okay, that's the one.
Runners, South Africa. That's at Founders Lodge.
Okay.
That's the crew, Christian,
go.
myself, and your
Elijah.
your godson Elijah.
Yes, my
that you
godson.
look after. What a lovely guy! And
Yeah.
he's a talent waiting to happen.
He is. He's amazing. I work with him as well. We do projects, and he's just great.
So that was probably in one of the biggest storms the Eastern Cape's ever seen. About 6 weeks ago or 2 months ago. Poor Kariga got flooded hugely. The Uteneg.
Yes, of course.
And
yes,
we were filming out there. Then we went down to Woody Cape. I dragged these poor guys to Woody Cape. And we got stuck to try and get a scene. I think it's about 3 seconds of the 25-minute video that we filmed in South Africa. It was just too bad. The sand was flying and the Woody Cape dunes moved over our cameras. The rain was pouring. It was an absolute nightmare. But we got the shot. And we were up at 3 a.m. We drove there and we waited and it was a nightmare.
I can sense that you've got this guy's got quirks. Tell us, Christian, how's Paul to work with? I mean, is he OCD? Is he completely ADD? Is he just?
No, he's not actually. He's really not.
Jeez, thank you, Christian.
He's more of like a screw it kind of guy,
Yeah.
So like
screw it and just do it.
Yeah. Whereas obviously, I'm sort of like, it's a bit wet outside. Maybe you should wait for a bit. And Paul's like, let's go now. I'm like, shit. I'm like, fine, we'll go. So at one point, Paul ran off down the beach line and left me and Elijah, and we were like completely covered in sand. I'm trying to raise it and say, like, Paul, we need to go back. Like, we're getting absolutely battered here. And Paul's just
it's expensive equipment.
It's the equipment. It's that zoom lens with all the sand inside.
It's so bad.
I'm like, trying to cover up because I've got the camera there, and Elijah's like flying off into the sea. Like, it just wasn't like. But Paul would run off. He'd taken off his jacket, his trousers, he had his bare shirt on, and he just
wasn't running naked.
In his underpants.
Yeah.
But my theory is,
naked if you hadn't told him. But he nothing really pleases him. Like he will. No matter what obstacles seem to be in the way, he rather annoyingly just tends to go for it. So yeah.
We've had a lot of frustration on some of our film shoots. I mean, I thought filmmaking, you just get out there and you go and do it. But I tell you what, it's batteries going flat.
Yes,
it's storms. It's losing footage. It's not turning on microphones. It is. It's a fucking nightmare.
I mean, I checked that bucky of yours. I saw that you had this 4x4 that I think you hired a 4x. That thing was stuffed.
Yeah,
it was bugging.
I think it was more stuffed after Christian got stuck every 5 minutes in that storm that we were in.
It was like it gets stuck on a log and it rips off the bumper, and then it's like how the hell?
Yeah.
Oh no.
But it was a great shoot. Gary, can you just tell us what other videos we got there? Because there's a beautiful clip of Addo. Yeah. And I just want to, as part of our show, this bizarre character here.
Yes, who is this chap?
Major PJ Pretorius.
So I say Major PJ Pretorius.
Okay, so...
No, but he looks like a burkie, so maybe...
No, I don't know where they recruited this guy from, but anyway, Addo Elephant National Park is probably stemming on becoming the second largest national park in South Africa, so second to Kruger. It is here in the Eastern Cape. It's about an hour's drive away from here. It is a remarkable story.
Yeah.
There were a lot of elephants in that valley, and then they started to plant citrus.
Yes.
Okay. And of course, and I'm talking probably the early 1900s. So they commissioned this fellow here to come and shoot every elephant in the valley, because obviously you plant citrus, they're gonna elephants love oranges.
They love oranges.
So you see him in these weird leathers.
Yes.
It's because the Eastern Cape bushveld is so impenetrable. It is full of thorns and just crazy thorns. It's like a barbed wire fence every step you take. So he dressed in these leathers. If you look closely, you got all the bullets in his chest here.
What are those long bloody bullets?
Yeah. And he used to walk around with a step ladder, so he could raise himself above the Addo thicket and have pot shots at elephants. Jeez. And his claim to fame was that he shot 6 elephants in 30 seconds.
Aye.
So he ended up shooting probably, 500-600 elephants. And then there were 2 brothers, the Harvey brothers.
Yeah.
and they said, "Fuck you! You're not coming onto our farm."
Yeah.
There were 11 elephants left, and that was the DNA of Addo.
Gee.
They revived from there to now 700 elephants.
So literally, those are the two guys that saved the Eastern Cape elephant, because they were all different. Huh?
It's a beautiful, beautiful story.
Yeah.
And they built this incredible big fence, and it wasn't about whatever. When we started Shamwari in early 90s, Addo was about 11,000 hectares.
Yeah.
And there's this huge fence, electric. It wasn't electric, it was cables and thick poles to keep these poor guys in.
Yeah.
But that was Addo. And Addo is now on this drive to acquire more and more land.
Yeah.
They, as I said, are going to become the second largest very quickly in our country.
So from Kruger,
Kruger second to Kruger, yeah. And I tell you what, they could overtake Kruger with what's going on in our province. And so our South
wouldn't
African,
that be amazing?
I know.
Wouldn't that be freaking amazing if we've got the biggest stuffing game?
I tell you, it'll be one of the biggest in Africa if we get it right.
Conservation game park in the entire country.
Where it's going is you've got all the private reserves. So you've got Kwandwe, Lalibela, Kwantu, Amakala, Kumba, Kwandu, the whole lot.
Kurika.
Kurika. Big players in this, and Shamwari. Okay. And then across the road, you've got Addo doing their thing. And then you've got Great Fish River, and you've got Bavian's Kloof.
Yeah. And the sea, the whole sea, that's all in there as well.
That's all part of Addo.
All the sea up to Bird Island? Or?
Yeah. I mean, if I had to show you a map, 30 years ago to a map to now, you'll be flabbergasted. And our fathers were the rewilders. The next generation are going to be the corridor creators. So, buying up the lands in between, or getting all of these farmers in between to link up.
Yes.
And then we can start seeing real wildlife experiences in our province.
And imagine coming from overseas where there's bugger all, literally. like we're talking about London, the park in London.
Richmond Park.
Richmond Park. I mean,
no, they've got nothing there.
Yeah,
there's no land. There's no space.
Yeah,
Eastern Cape doesn't have Mozambique. It doesn't have Zimbabwe bordering it.
Yeah,
it doesn't have major communities.
Boundaries.
The Eastern Cape is so well primed to become one of the biggest game reserves in the world.
Yeah,
and watch the space.
Jeez, that's so exciting.
There's amazing stuff happening under the surface that nobody knows about, but it's going to start coming out. It is fascinating. Yeah. People like William Falls and Pete Chadwick and Dr. Andrew Muir, they're all involved, but they're just flying very low.
He stays up here up the road, Andrew Muir. I've got to have him on the show sometime too.
So Natural Born Runners, this first ever episode, which we're going to launch now in September, covers a lot of what's coming. Yeah. But not in a lot of detail. We do it very high level. But it is interesting. And I want to show you this clip of Addo, the Addo that nobody's ever seen.
Let's have a clip.
After introducing citrus into the valley, a major PJ Pretorius was commissioned to cull all of the elephants in the region. It was only until two brothers prevented him from hunting on their farm that the Addo elephant bloodline was forever preserved. The brothers had the last remaining 11 elephants on their farm, and thanks to their foresight, approximately 700 elephants roam the Addo Elephant National Park today. The Big Five all roam here too. However, I was venturing into an area almost untouched by these big animals or man.
Fakir bahali ufaring nada nada wada fakir wajana nada egi gel ufaring foki egi asin bong bong nanga
Okay, wow. Okay, so I think that was half the video.
We were busted pouring
pouring some more whiskeys.
But what I wanted to say there
Yeah.
is that is the unknown adder. If you're a hardcore trail runner, you may have run through some of those valleys there. The reason why Christian and I got access is through the CEO of Addo. He's a lovely guy, and Nick, and he gave us access. And then also we have acquired a piece of land just on the edge that juts into Addo for a client from the UK. He's half UK, Middle Eastern. And our family are responsible for building his lodge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, having done what we've done at Shamwari and then Founders Lodge.
And Mantis, because Mantis is obviously a big part of your life here as well.
Yeah.
So when did that start? Was you obviously through your dad?
It was, yeah. We had a collection of hotels, probably 7 or 8 in 1999, 2000. And it was time to put a brand on it. And we didn't know what brand to use. You could go with all these weird stereotypical names like the Platinum Collection or whatever else. Yes. And then Dr. Ian Player, Gary Player's brother, the legendary conservationist, stayed over at Dad's house. And Dad said, I need a name. And Ian woke up the next morning. He said, I've got a name. And he came up with Mantis. Yeah. And after the little insect. And the acronym that we came up with is man and nature together is sustainable. Yeah. Mantis.
Okay, sustainable as well.
And so we built this portfolio out of that. So this lodge will be a Mantis property in Addo. The first.
I like the name Mantis. It's also, don't they eat their own? They eat the
after
sex. Then they eat the male, don't they? A Christian.
Yeah, they do.
You got a girlfriend, Christian?
I do. Yeah.
He's got a lovely girlfriend.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hey, pull back off, please. All right. My girlfriend really likes Paul for some strange reason, so I have to make sure.
She's my biggest fan on Instagram.
Oh dear! Oh, the Insta fan. Yeah, you got to watch out for that stuff. It's the people that are closest to you, Christian.
I know, right? I know.
Oh, magic! But and yourself, Paul, partners.
You didn't know?
I don't know anything.
I have
about
a beautiful wife from the Eastern Cape, Abigail Gardiner, or McNichol previously, and we have a little child called Rosie.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Yeah, who's English Rose because she's been brought up in England.
Rose. Was she born in England?
She was, and she thinks she's Taylor Swift.
Oh,
and she knows all Taylor's songs and when she was born and flipping everything you need to know about Taylor. Rosie's across it all.
But now, I mean, in traveling, is that not difficult? Because you're traveling a lot.
We
go
managed,
in and out.
we actually managed quite well. We managed quite well. We've got a good rapport, and Abs and I just get on with it. We figure it out.
Yeah, it's kind of like you almost get used to it, and if you're not spending a hell of a long time you're coming in and out.
Yeah, it's actually good to have those little breaks away.
The long breaks are tough.
I think you, as a dad, you miss those little kids, growing up in that. But we actually manage it really well. We have a lot of air time together. We make sure we do.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. These days as well, it does help. Yeah. That you're like, there's Christian again. You'd think you'd had enough of him, but he's right there. Mug is right there the whole time.
And Christian actually just needs to get down on one knee and do the deed.
Ladies waiting around, Christian.
I had to say that. Sorry,
honestly, the biological clock is ticking as well, and we know that you don't like children from the fact that you gave up teaching and such.
Oh, I know. That's one of the big.
So quickly.
One of the big things. That's one of the big things. I don't know if I can handle kids.
Should we talk about?
It's quick comment. Quick for the comments quickly. I've just got a couple. This Philip is running away, running with the wildlife. Keep running. Regards from Mandakula. Is it Mandakula? Where is that? What is that?
I'm not sure.
Mandakula. We'll have to look it up. Where's my Studemar? I don't know who Studemar is. It says Roseanne Erasmus saying, hello, gentlemen. Hello, Roseanne. Lovely to see you.
Nice to meet you, Roseanne.
And Paul Penzorn saying, how's
Paul,
it?
I know well. He's an old Adrian, and he runs AfriCam, which is all the live cams at various lodges across the world.
Oh, I think we saw one of those.
Yeah, well, we've got one at Founders.
Yes, I saw that one when we were busy filming. Is that right, Christian? Wasn't it one of those tall poles.
No, that's
No.
that's the AR Rochelle pole.
Is this something else?
No, we have a hide and we have a live cam at the hide. You can actually go onto Natural Born Runners on YouTube and you can actually go tune in now and look at a live cam.
Okay, so
I mean, I can't believe you don't know about this.
I've seen those live cams around. We try and look for surf spots. And how did you get the train coach on top of the copyhead founders? Oh, there we go. Paul was,
Who's asking me? Is that
Paul?
Geez, the old man got very bored during COVID, and he said we had this old railway carriage, which was part of our family for many years when we were growing up. And instead of catching a aircraft to Cape Town or just driving up to Cape Town, we would hitch ourselves onto the back of the old Goa Express, which is the main line train. And we used to go to Cape Town as a family with the dogs and the parrot. We had a parrot, believe it or not.
And Lord, you know how to travel.
Yeah, well, that was old man. It was actually an amazing experience. And, Gary, if you go to live, you'll see it there. There's a live link.
So say, Gary.
Click on live, and you'll see it. Okay. So we're going to go live now to the watering hole, and you'll see what animals are there. But the train was amazing. And then eventually we retired it in our offices at Deal Party, and it rusted away. It was our canteen.
Oh, okay.
And then COVID arrived. And the old man got bored, and he needed a project. And so he decided he was going to take it out. Because we were in the crane business for many years, and transport business, he had the
Castle Crane
trucks.
Aisle. That was the one.
So he loaded onto a flatbed truck and took it out there.
I think he's got a video of it here. What's going on there, Gary? Is that one of the cameras?
I don't think there's anything there now.
Paul, that's one of the cameras.
Yeah.
Is that one of his cameras? It's on a.
Yeah, this is Paul Penzor's camera, African, live at the watering hole.
Wow.
So you can actually leave that on while we talk.
Yeah.
Maybe a rhino will come and have a drink, but you can see 2 Egyptian geese there and a bat that's going batshit crazy.
I see that bat. Holy moly, so this is live?
100% live.
Live and live.
So what we do when we're at home in Surrey is when it's 6:30 and it's whiskey time, we put the big screen up in the house. And we have sundowners every night, religiously.
My wife is going to be onto this like a rash.
It's actually so cool when you look at tech today. It's a lovely thing to be able to do. It just keeps us close to home.
Gee, that is actually incredible. And I mean, I know because there's been a whole push with this. What is it? Wild that thing where the guides take you through as well. It was Wild Africa.
No, they did the live game.
The live stuff.
So there's a gentleman who should be watching tonight called Andre, and he runs Wild. It's called Wild Earth.
Wild Earth. That's the one. We used to watch that in COVID as well. We got into it in COVID, and now Philip every now and again.
Every now and again, you tune in and you watch Wild Earth live.
Amazing.
You watch a game drive take place at Amakala next to us and various other reserves across South Africa. It's a wonderful concept.
But this is almost even better in that you got your own.
The nice thing about this is you just leave it on in the background while you're working. And you turn up the volume when you're in England, you just hear the crickets. Or in the morning it's the doves and these chatty old bloody hardy-gars and whatever else. Yeah.
That bat is going.
But this is actually taken from the hide. So you walk 35 meters under a tunnel, and you pop up in this shipping container that we've buried.
What is it underwater?
It's at our level there.
Okay.
And you sit there with your coffee in the morning in this shipping container that's sunken into the ground. And there's a slit in the shipping container. Okay. And you watch the animals come and drink. You just got to keep very quiet because they get quite skittish if you make a noise. Okay. And it's amazing. From wagtails to rhinos. Wow. They all come to this watering hole. So when you put water or create a watering hole, everything comes. It's lovely.
Of course. Look at that. That's beautiful. That. Christian, so you can stick it up in England?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, I've been there. Me and Elijah were drinking there at like 2:30 in the morning at one point when we were filming.
Yeah, I was fast asleep when that happened there.
No wonder you enjoyed this so much.
It was Elijah's idea, it wasn't my idea.
Very good. Well, let's have a look at some more of the comments here. There's a couple coming in. Oh, Elijah's here. Elijah's on. I remember Christian breaking the Jeep. He says.
Yeah, he was there.
Loving the stories. Mimi Rupp, she owns Smart Stone. She does the Smart Stone stuff. Nice to see you, Mimi. And Davina, I think Davina's out in where's out at Pletway. Davina, wonderful to hear this. Adrian. Adrian G, there we go. Very brave,
Where is he?
aren't there lines in that?
No, that's not Adrian Gardiner.
It's not Adrian G, it's another
man.
Adrian 6. It's Adrian White.
I wonder if that's my mate, Adrian White.
Yeah, probably.
Not that section of Addo, Bugsy.
Is that Bugsy?
I think it's Bugsy.
Moraine Moss, how's it, Moraine? Nice to see you. Breathtaking, absolutely. Jane Stevenson, all the way over in Ireland. I think she's in Ireland. Or in Ireland, Jane Stevenson.
Hey, Jane. Well, look what we're drinking.
We're drinking a little bit of Jameson's for you. Oh, magic. Sean Sullivan, evening gentleman from the Stone Age. What's it?
Power, another dark evening.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and PE.
There's it.
Marcel is staying
Okay.
at our little hotel in Cape Town.
Oh, there we go.
Our fathers were the reserve developers and the rewilders. Our generation will be the product. There you go,
There we
Marcel.
go.
Thanks for watching, buddy.
Oh, good quote. It's a good quote. You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And we need to. Lawrence Kaplan, ex-ShopRite, Linda van der Westhuizen, all the way from Queenstown, I think. George.
Hello, I hope they
George
put those
and Linda.
fires out in Queenstown. Yeah, that place is burning down everywhere. Huge fires.
We've just driven down there. We drove through Queenstown. Linda, I even took a picture as well and stuck it up. But we all the way from Queenstown through to Howick. We went through now the last 2 days.
Okay.
And there were fires,
Terrible,
man.
eh?
Dry.
My brother-in-law and my sister just drove back home from St. Francis. They said
Yeah.
it's hell on earth. Eh?
No, it's a problem. Daryl Volker, please the name or site of the watering
Yeah,
hole.
so Daryl, it's at Founders Lodge. So if you Google Founders Lodge, it's kind of, we sold Shamwari, just to put it in perspective
Yep.
for you, many years ago, and we kept our little lodge, Founders Lodge, and we've built this incredible hide. It is amazing.
Beautiful.
So if you go into Natural Born Runners, you'll be able to click on the live link then and check it out.
To
Thank
Founders. Isn't that amazing? I love it. I love that you can just watch it all day and all that. You just stick it on the TV while you're wandering around the kitchen making supper. That's just the best.
There you go. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
Exactly.
And I see, when can we run? I see Philippa saying, when can we run there as well? We're gonna,
Well, I'll tell you where, Philippa, you need to come run at Addo. I think they put that race on every year. That's the place you want to go do it.
No, for sure. When can we go? She says, well.
I'll sort that out for
we'll
you.
go make a plan.
It's the least I can do.
Kelly Briscoe, she's a winner as well. She's Kelly's involved in the
Hardy Dars in the UK. I love that. Yeah.
I love that
I'll
you're
tell you a
excited
story.
about Hardy
One
Dars.
night I got pissed,
Yeah.
and I was a bachelor, and I knew about Africa, and I stumbled. I got into bed in central London, and I put my laptop on. I was watching Africa.
I love it that you just wanted to have that bit of home.
Yeah, I needed that fix, and I turned the volume right up, and I had these speakers. Then I went to bed. 5 o'clock in the fucking morning, these hardy guys wake me up in the middle of London. Live.
It's classic. Oh my soul! No. Kelly's involved in actually she's got we had her on a little while ago. She's human trafficking. She's
good for her.
They're fighting human trafficking here. And they're finding the guys, and they're in the thick of it.
Fantastic.
Amazing
love
stuff.
that. Love that.
And Davina, I see Davina, us caring in England. Oh, caring in England for 6 months, missing Africa. Well, you can put on that. You can put on the live cam.
Get on that live cam, man. Natural Born Runners, go find the live cam.
That's it. Cornelius is amazing. Thank you.
She's
Cornelius.
a sweetheart. Gugu, lovely friend of
Who's
mine.
Gugu?
Her husband,
Yes.
sadly, and a young guy my age, we were in Upper House together at St Andrews. He passed away
Oh man. Okay.
during COVID, and he had the best laugh ever. Lovely chap, Tando Dingon.
Okay.
And Gugu and I have just remained friends. I wish
good.
wish we saw more of each other, but she's a superstar.
But she's watching from Mozambique.
Yeah, she lives in Joburg. She's on holiday and she's tuned in. So,
Oh,
what a
lovely.
sweetheart,
I love you. I love that. I love that lady already. Kelly, thank you. Shattering Shackles. That's it.
That sounds like Christian, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Shattering Shackles. Yeah. Well, we're getting him in, but we're not really human trafficking him. He's more like,
No. You know what I would like to talk about now, very quickly, is Gary, if you could just flip through a few pictures of Bahrain, because that's our
Bahrain.
show.
Yes, no, let us.
And now I want to talk about America, because we've got a fascinating film coming up.
So because this is Natural Born Runners now,
Yeah.
you're going all over the place. I
Yeah.
mean, it's traveling at this time in your life. What does your wife think of this?
She's all for it. Eh?
She's okay.
She supports it. She wants to see something fly. I mean,
Yeah.
but just to show you where Bahrain is.
Yeah.
So you, believe it or not, most of that area that you're seeing there is Saudi Arabia, and there's a lot of shit going down there.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Okay.
They're doing what Dubai did 30 years ago. They realize that oil and whatever is obsolete in however long it's going to take.
Going to make a
Saudi
financial capital.
are on steroids in terms of tourism, and we're doing quite a lot there. But if you zoom in, and the next slide, you'll see a closer look at Bahrain. So it's that little island. And then even if you follow the little red arrow, so Bahrain is the one above the red arrow, and then the little one is the island of Havar. And it's very close to Qatar. So Qatar is this big peninsula jutting out of Saudi. So that's Qatar, and you know Qatar Airways and everything else.
Yes, of course.
But that island belongs to Bahrain. It's very much disputed. The Qataris wanted the Bahrainis, but at the moment it belongs to Bahrain.
It could cause a war.
Yeah. And so if you just flick through the pictures, Gary, we can just... that's the resort that Mantis is involved with. It belongs to the royal family. It's kind of... I relate it to Blanco. Yeah. So you know Blanco in the Eastern Cape.
Beautiful.
Okay, so Blanco...
It looks just like Blanco.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why. For 40 years, the Bahrainians have been going to their Blanco, which is on this little island, was a crappy little 3-star hotel. Yeah. But now the king and the royal family said, stuff this, we're going to upgrade this whole facility. Yo. And all those families that used to go there, those little kids are now in their 40s and their 50s. And so there's a lot of nostalgia. Okay. Like we have with Blanco.
Yes, of course.
And they all want to come back to this thing, and they know that it's being turned into this 5-star gem of a hotel. Lovely. And Mantis were handed the marketing and management contract for this. Wow. And the sheikh and the ruler said, we don't want people to just lie on the beach here. Yeah. We want them to get stuck into conservation and understand conservation. And so if you just flick through some of the pictures again, Gary, that picture there, look at all those black things behind us. You know what that is?
No.
It's the biggest population of cormorant birds probably in the world.
Cormorants?
Yeah.
Jeez, like...
You get all this dust and sand flying in from Saudi, and it lands in the sea and creates all these nutrients. And then the fish thrive. And these cormorants see this as a place to come and nest, because they know there's a lot of rich food in the sea.
Okay.
Christian and I took one look at this and he said, shit, this is unbloody real. Yeah. And then we went out in the boat and they said there's a lot of dugongs here. So we said, what's a dugong? A dugong is like a manatee. It's like a hippo.
Yes.
It's a big fat thing. They've got breasts like a woman. And the reason I
like them already.
The reason I say that is they were mistaken for mermaids.
Okay.
Because of those breasts.
Yes. A drunk sailor.
Yeah, you can imagine. They haven't seen a woman for a long time. What the? Anyway, you've got a herd of 500 of these dugongs that migrate around the island.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's flamingos, and there's crabs, and there's turtles, and everything. It's so rich. But the Bahrainians don't realize it. Like when we got to Shamwari in the early days, we didn't realize the opportunity that's surrounded. So the royal family said that he's going to pull up a picture of a dugong. Okay, please, thanks, Gary.
Dugong.
He's all over this. And they don't realize the value of wildlife. Yeah. And so if you take that Shamwari DNA, if you create a value for wildlife, people will come. Yeah. And so this resort's not about lying on the beach. It's about going on marine-based safaris. They want to bring back a lot of the wildlife to the island. There you go.
There's a dugong. Look at him.
There we go. Yeah.
Hey.
Beautiful, beautiful creature. Very placid. They eat the seagrass.
You say beautiful, but I mean, I think you'd have to have a lot of whiskies there too.
Well, I've had a few already.
Wait, have you got any? What about you, Kristen? Any stories about Bahrain?
Fuck, there's a lot of stories on the technical side. Let him tell you that. It was a freaking nightmare.
Oh, man. Where do you even start? I don't know where to start with Bahrain.
Well, we couldn't get permits. We couldn't get a drone.
Yeah. So we've arrived there with the promise of permits to film.
Yeah.
And we're about to go, and then the geezer goes, "Oh, there's no permit. We can't get any permits." We're like,
the geezer.
Okay, great. And I just said, you know what Paul's like? Paul's like, fuck it, let's just go. I'm like, great, well, if you get shot by the fucking Arabian police or whatever, then, you know, pay for my funeral by all means. So we've gone and just ran around this island. Paul promised me a bottle of whiskey, so I joined him on the run. Never run
34 kilometers later.
I've only run about 10k, to be fair. And it was a fucking disaster. It was a disaster from start to finish. But for some reason, with us, every time we film stuff, I think we're getting into the mindset now where it's like we know it's going to be a shit show. We know nothing's going to go right. But we know that if nothing's going right, then everything is going well, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yes.
If it's going too smoothly, then we start to get suspicious. But like something's going right, everything's falling into place. Something's weird, something's off.
Well, there we go. There's a message for you.
There you go.
I don't remember that.
You did. I remember you getting shot by the guys. It was with paintball guns or paint the paintball.
Yeah.
Again, you know, it's about the comedy. You can't do a boring wildlife documentary without a bit of comedy. And we've taken a feather out of Clarkson's Farm.
Oh yes,
And
yes.
you know, I don't think a lot of South Africans have watched Clarkson's Farm, but it's very big in the States and
It was on Netflix. I think Netflix for a while.
No, it's on Amazon.
Is it Amazon? Okay.
But I tell you what, Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear and the Grand Tour, he bought a farm in the Cotswolds in the UK, and he suddenly fucking made farming sexy.
Yeah.
Like nobody would watch a farming show.
No.
In a million years.
It was like tractors and things. I sticked him out. Yeah.
But it wasn't about him. It was about the people he surrounded himself with.
Yes.
Caleb.
Yes.
And Gerald.
His farm manager.
And it was just this like
Extended
brilliance
family.
of TV. Yeah. And you fell in love with all the characters. From him to his beautiful Irish wife, she is good looking.
Yes.
And to Gerald and Caleb. And
Quite likes other people's wives, you know.
He does. Listen, I've had a word with him. After 2 whiskeys, he gets a bit all over the place. I'll tell him.
But so Christian started watching Clarkson's Farm.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, and he said, "You know what? We should take a feather out their cap because this is a good format."
Very good.
So I'm sort of Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah.
The more serious guy, blah blah blah. Maybe a little bit of sarcasm, and Christian's a combination of Caleb and Gerald and a few of the because he brings a comedy to it.
Yeah.
So when we're presenting a show now, you actually, hopefully, you'll get glued to it because there's fun. It's
Of
not
course.
just us drilling all the anti-poaching and rhinos dying and everything.
Yeah.
Hang on. It's about having a few drinks and a bit of fun along the way.
You always need that. You always need that.
The balance,
That balance. I see we're getting like in our earphones. We're getting this stuff.
Yeah, we're getting kibikis.
We're getting
I can hear them.
kibikis. I can hear. We can hear the kibikis.
The watching
It's
us.
still coming through, Gary.
But Gary, what I'd like to talk about now is our next mission. So let me just quickly tell you, we've done South Africa, which is our opening episode. We've done Bahrain. And how we're rewilding this island and creating this beautiful.
That's incredible, and also it's like desert.
Yeah. How do you make desert fun?
You know, okay, I mean, cormorants. What else is there? I mean, I'm sure you just dig a little deeper, and I think it really is digging.
I'll tell you what, Bahrain has got. I said it in the video. They got the pearl in the crown. You said it's the jewel in the crown. They've got the pearl in the crown. Okay. And then the third series is, or the third episode is on Aladale, and I'll go into that now, which is in the Highlands of Scotland. Mm-hmm. But our next one is really fascinating, and it's America.
Okay.
And Gary, if you just pull up a couple of slides of that now.
That's Gladiator.
That doesn't make sense because obviously Gladiator is Gladiator, but the gentleman
behind these.
With Russell Crowe is a gentleman called Dijman Hunsa.
Yeah.
And he is famous for blood diamonds. We'll all know that from South Africa.
Diamonds, yes. Yeah.
Obviously, he's in Gladiator. I think he's in Gladiator 2 as well.
Okay.
And he has invited Christian and I to Virginia in America.
Wow, okay.
And he's a big advocate not only for lions in Africa.
It's up the west coast of Virginia.
Yes.
It's up
East Coast.
East Coast.
So
East-
I actually had to Google it because I'm not
yeah,
really
because
sure.
I don't know America, but I know that it's up. I think it's up there.
So he is originally from Benin in Africa.
East Coast, yeah. That's
so he's East Coast Africa.
East Coast.
And then he
Okay.
left and he went to America.
Okay.
And made a success of himself there in terms of acting. And just go back a slide because I don't want to jump.
Yeah,
But
what is that?
don't go there yet. But so what he's done is he created a race in Virginia, in a town called Richmond, and it's called the 16.19 kilometer race. The reason why he chose that particular distance is because it was the year that slavery started.
1619.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane.
And Virginia, Richmond is where all the slaves arrived, the cotton pickers and all of that.
Yes.
They all got shipped from Africa, and they arrived
Are you
there.
talking about African slavery? I'm sure
African
there's
slavery, and they were sent to Richmond.
So colonialism sort of it started it.
And it is like you can't even wrap your head around it. How severe it was, because I found this clip on YouTube, and you see it's a sort of motion, a quick motion video of how the ship sailed. So it's a map of Africa and America and South America.
Yes.
And you see the first ship go in 1819. And you keep watching it. It's about 69. And then you see the next ship and the next, and those little dots get quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker.
Keep going.
And that video lasts for 12 minutes. And you just see how many slaves were taken to Brazil and to the United States.
And to that whole Caribbean story.
The Caribbean.
Yeah.
And so Christian and I have been invited to go and run this race.
Okay.
Christian, you better have your bloody running shoes on.
The
good thing about this is...
but Nike or something.
But the nice thing about this is Christian is actually half Caribbean.
Oh.
So he's got...
Well, you would never say from the French name, Christian Anton. I would never say. The French were the ones that were getting the slaves.
Yeah, exactly. Bloody French.
So for him, it's going to be quite a nice journey.
Yeah, for sure.
And me coming out of apartheid South Africa will be an interesting journey. And,
it does.
And we're going to have the opportunity to introduce this big Hollywood celebrity. And
jeez,
we have a call tomorrow evening to plot the route for this run that we're going to do. We're going to go to the museums and everything else.
Okay.
And
that is just insanely cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think because I love history. I love that's for me that would just be the.
And we're going to tell it in a fun way, you know. And then the conservation spin, Gary, is if you flip over to the next slide, is this. And this is bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, so from
that's a mammoth.
From Richmond, we fly to Dallas.
That's a dodo.
Yeah, and the Tasmanian tiger is the third.
Yes, they're extinct.
Yeah, all three.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the opportunity through a foundation that I sit on the board of a foundation, and they were in London about 6 weeks ago. We had a conversation with this guy, and he actually presented to us, and he said to me, we've started this company, it's called Colossal, and they've secured not 150 million, they've secured 300 million now.
Whoa,
and
just doubled up.
They are going to get the DNA, because you can, of woolly mammoths.
Whoa!
Because if you go to northern Russia, you got all this ice melting, and lots of tusks and everything. They'll get the DNA.
They've got
the
whole
mammoth.
bodies of. I've seen frozen,
like a baby,
frozen mammoth babies. I've seen them. Yeah.
Okay, then the dodo. So he tells me he was in Mauritius a few weeks ago, and he found a skeleton in a cave of a dodo.
Well, they've got. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen pictures of taxidermy of a dodo.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the DNA is there.
The DNA is there, and believe it or not, I said, how do you get the DNA from a bird that's been extinct for so long, a couple of 100 years or whatever it is? He said, Paul, is the most dense bone in an animal is the ear, and bacteria can't infiltrate that, so it doesn't decay. And we put a little drill bit in there, and we extract the DNA. Now you're thinking Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That scene, they injected their thing and they're out they got the mosquito blood from a dinosaur. So they are on a mission to do this. They've raised this enormous amount of money. Peter Jackson from The Lord of the Rings, he's actually created a mammoth in a big ice block. And when you walk into the reception in their Dallas lab, there's a big mammoth in an ice block, as only he could do.
Yes.
And he's one of the founders of
well,
this.
I mean, it's all about marketing in the end to get that money to be able to do it. And he knows how to do that.
And they're using these 3 species to raise a lot of money, which they've clearly done.
Wow.
And a lot of people are saying, hang on, this is not right. You know, I get a woolly mammoth and a dodo and blah, blah, blah. So I'm sort of on the fence on that. But there's a bigger picture.
You mean to bring them back? To bring them back? I
mean, imagine bringing a woolly mammoth. I'd love to see it. I think a lot of us would.
Of course you do. I mean,
but I think
a dodo, I mean, the poor dodos, I'm sure they taste very nice as well.
Jeez. You're such a conservationist. I need to teach you more.
It's probably why they disappeared in the first place. But I mean, to bring it back, of course, you'd want to. I understand why people wouldn't want that. I mean,
I think it's exciting. I think you know where it goes. But there's a bigger picture. They use those 3 animals to talk about and raise money for the bigger picture here. So you know about the seed banks.
Yes.
Every seed on the planet's been protected and it's underground. And if there's a nuclear holocaust or whatever, we've got seeds.
It's like a library of
100%.
Stuff.
So they're doing. These guys are not just about bringing these iconic species back. They're actually about creating a seed bank for our species, which I think is important.
Global warming affecting it, risking it?
That global warming is affecting the seed banks. Good, it could be a problem.
Absolutely. There's a lot of species we're losing that probably aren't publicized. So these guys are actually thinking far ahead. So it's a very valuable
keeping those species. But I mean, if you think about how quickly they got a vaccine for COVID, for example, why not build from DNA?
Yeah. This is good. That's good. Yeah. It's a good one to put money into it, and it's very exciting. The fact that they've raised all. So Christian and I are going to run with Dijon, and we're hoping then to go to Dallas to go do a feature on the lab and what's coming.
Okay.
So I emailed the guy that I met a few months ago yesterday, and we're waiting for a response.
Okay.
But then it gets more interesting because the second part of that show, Gary, if you wouldn't mind flicking onto the next slide. Sorry, I don't want to. This is for our Eastern Cape viewers.
Yeah. Okay.
This is really interesting.
Yeah.
Look at that animal there.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that species of animal is from the Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
But it was extinct probably 150 years ago. It was shot out completely. We know the blue duiker. This is called the blue buck. And its closest relative is, rightly so, because those horns go back, the sable.
Sable.
Yeah. So I chatted to this guy, and I presented, and then he came up to me and he said, hang on, I see you from the Eastern Cape. Do you know about the blue buck? I said, I do know about the blue buck.
Yeah.
He says, we're trying to bring it back with the dodo and the woolly mammoth and everything else. So
wow. So
how exciting would that be?
Also with the DNA story.
Yeah. Really
but
cool.
But are they in other? They're not in other areas.
No, they were exclusive to our province.
Oh, my soul!
How cool would that be if we could bring back this species?
Yeah.
That's where it gets exciting. So
beautiful.
Gary, if you could flip over to the next slide. Now this is a scene from Dances with Wolves.
I remember the movie. Yes.
And I watched this movie, and I can almost tell you to the date, probably 1993.
Yeah.
I was in Johannesburg, and Mom took Murray and I to this, and I'll never forget this particular scene of all these bison, because this is what the Wild West looked like.
Yeah.
And this, as a scene in a movie, would have been contrived because this would have been on some guy's farm.
Yeah.
There were 50 million buffalo or bison, American buffalo, in America. And you think about scorched earth.
Yeah.
You know how they destroyed all the animals here to get rid of the Boers.
Yeah.
They did the same with the Indians. They wiped out every. This was their staple diet, the American Indians.
Of course, yes.
If you took these away, the Indians would die out.
Yeah.
And that was the philosophy. And they created these railway tracks through America, and they basically wiped out all the bison.
Jeez,
there were 50 million, and it came down to probably a few thousand. And so Christian and I want to go and unearth the story of the bison. If you click on the next slide, believe it or not, every one of those is a skull of a bison.
Oh, my soul.
Yeah.
You know, the 1800s were early 1900s.
Terrible, eh?
Were terrible for that. I mean, they just like, I think they just thought that there was a never-ending supply. You know
that the biggest hunt in the world ever took place on the planet was in the Orange Free State.
Always.
They planned this hunt for Prince Alfred, who was going to become the King of England.
Yes.
20,000 animals in one day.
No.
In the Orange Free State. They wiped them all out. So
that is, it was just crazy. I think they just thought there was a never-ending supply. And I remember even my mother telling me that, as a youngster, like telling me that the fish, like the sea, was an untapped resource, and there's just enough food for everybody. But it's not.
Nobody knows what's
always
happening
limits.
in our waters. It's sad. It's very sad.
And now we're sitting with overfishing and stuff.
And Christian and I want to tell that story too.
Yeah.
We want to do the waters. We don't want to just do. We want to do surf and turf.
Good idea. And you can go into the bunkering that's happening out here in Algo Bay, which is horrific.
No,
it's just like a disaster.
Those stories need to be told. Yeah. But we want to tell it as Christian and I.
Excellent.
We'll make it fun.
Natural born swimmers.
Christian's a big swimmer.
Excellent. We'll send you out. We're going to send you out. Oh my God. So next project out to the States.
Yeah, we really want to get there. We actually due there around the 20th of September, so it's coming fast and furious. We've got to book our flights now. We want to go and we'll probably do phase 1 and 2, and then we'll come back for the bison story later. Yeah.
Okay. That's insane. I mean, we're getting to the end of the show. I think we've been here.
I know. I suddenly realised.
Nearly 2 hours. It's fantastic. Gavin Biggs is saying, how's it there? I see.
Yeah, he's going to have to swim with us. He is the ambassador for our waters here. Eh?
Yeah, exactly. You should be there, Gavin Biggs.
He's a legend. He's a freaking legend.
He's like, and proper. I've just travelled through the. We went to Howick for a trail bike ride. It was fantastic this week, and we drove all the way through the Transkei at the most beautiful places, and a couple of Biggses on the way. I see a couple of Biggs farms.
Good.
The Biggs family.
They're strong in this province.
1820 settlers, they're around here. The whole bloody lot of them, and
so we got two little pieces to wrap up with.
Yes. Scotland.
You could pull up that picture there.
Let's have a look.
We've done everything in
Scotland.
reverse.
I love it.
But this is an amazing, and I'll go through this really quickly.
Beautiful. Look at that.
How's
Beautiful
that,
find.
But believe it or not, that picture is very sad.
Yeah.
Because if you go back 500 years ago, these hills in Scotland would have been forests.
Oh.
And it just shows you how fucked up man is. We chopped every tree down there to build ships.
Shipbuilding.
Industrial revolution.
Yeah.
Everything. And so Christian was sitting at the bottom of the valley, and he sent me on this mission to climb this mountain while he was sipping.
Sipping a bit of whiskey.
He was sipping
jammies.
Jameson in Scotland. So you can imagine that went down like a lead balloon.
That's just unacceptable, Christian.
And he chatted to me on the radio. He gave me great support all the way up. But I said to Christian, I'm going to get to the top of this mountain. I'm going to raise the Scottish flag. And you can see me in the middle of the screen there with the Scottish flag. But we tell the story of an Englishman who has bought this beautiful estate in the Highlands of Scotland. It's called Allerdale.
Okay.
Allerdale Wilderness Reserve. And he was inspired by a lot of what's gone on in the Eastern Cape, from Dad bringing back the Big Five to various other people in the Eastern Cape. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, shit, if they can do it, why can't I do it in Scotland? The bears and the wolves used to exist here 500 years ago. So can I do the same thing?
Really?
He's planted 1 million trees. He's got various other things on the go.
1 million trees?
Yeah. And he wants to reforest the Highlands.
Okay.
And I tell you what, he's a remarkable guy. He's one of the most generous people I've met.
Yeah.
He has got a black book, second to none. If you need to go anywhere in the world,
you need to find anybody.
You'll find you that person.
Find the right oak. Okay.
And he inherited a lot of money, but he's putting it to good flipping purpose. And for this, if you click onto the next picture, Gary, is Christian and I won an award.
Oh.
And we called that video the Green Desert, because Scotland is green.
Yes.
But it's a fucking desert because of the biodiversity that's not there anymore.
Sure.
Yeah.
So rewilding, replanting,
everything. Basically, what you do is you bring back the trees.
Yeah.
The insects come.
Yes.
The insects
one
then,
always leads to another.
Yeah, the insects then fly around the water to get water. The fish come.
Yeah.
They start eating the insects. Then the bears come because you've got all this salmon.
Yeah.
And when the bears come, everything else starts to work. And then you've got a pack of wolves. Okay, so you've got the deers eating all the nice sweet grass.
Yeah.
And they cause erosion because there's no predators.
Yeah.
So when the wolves come, the deers have to run all over the place. They churn up the soil. New trees and plants grow.
Yeah.
And they're not eating all the sweet stuff, so it flourishes. More butterflies, more insects, and that circle of life regenerates itself. It's a beautiful, and it happens so quickly. We saw it at Shamwari all those years ago.
That's I've done a lot of work with Ian von Memety, and he loves like this whole where you leave the bush to just thrive, and then all the diversity sort of comes back somehow. They've managed. We see it in the valley here. This Barkham's Valley is beautiful,
amazing, amazing.
And we often see these animals coming through. They get hunted. They get hunted. The guys come in with dogs and all sorts. It's ridiculous, but. It's just a matter of educating the people around and trying to get them to conserve instead of taking it out. But it's amazing how it survives. How it actually.
You start putting it back and it thrives.
Thrives. It just comes
very
back.
quickly. Nature comes back, and it starts in your backyard. I always say that it starts in your backyard. If you start planting and doing X, Y, and Z, the bees come back and all the insects come back, and that's the first start of it.
Everything. I mean, they were talking about wolves in Yellowstone Park. And I remember that story as well. It's amazing. Gary was talking about the Olympics. Tell us what was the Olympic story.
Okay, I thought I'd just finish with this because we are in the Paralympics at the moment.
Yes.
And we'll wrap up with this because. But what I would like to say to all our listeners is, do subscribe to Natural Born Runners. Find us on YouTube. That's our first platform of choice. We're going to give that a crack. I don't know if this thing's going to work or not. Christian, what do you think?
Yeah, it'll work.
He's taking a feather out of my face.
You got to have positivity, man.
It will.
I'll be there. I'll be there watching.
Yeah.
No, we're going to give it a go. And if it doesn't work, that's fine. We gave it a shot. But if it works, we'd love to go around this world telling stories in a funny way. With a serious little undertone.
That's the best way.
And we meet a lot of people. We've met a lot of people. Christian, I think I've probably introduced you a lot of interesting people. I like to think so. And I think our little black book is growing.
It's not just about. It's about the relationships that you build. It's about the things that you're doing. I mean, for your own life.
Yeah.
You're going through a rich phase in your life.
And God, if I can do a little bit, it's scary. Waking up every morning.
And for your child, eventually, your daughter
scary.
when she grows
it's a scary planet, and we mustn't get too anxious about what's coming because there's a lot of good news that doesn't get told. We're going to tell those good news stories. And
good.
But anyway, just coming back to the black book, this is a classic example. So I don't know if any of the viewers will know who this is, but you'll know him from his smile.
Yeah.
And his name is Selassie. Haile Selassie.
Yeah.
He's one of the all-time great athletes. And I went to...
Runner.
He's a runner?
Yeah.
I went to Ethiopia. He's an Ethiopian runner. And I went to a conference there. And they said to me, if you wake up at 7 in the morning, you get the opportunity to run a kilometer with this guy. Mm-hmm. And I said, fuck, I'm going to be there like a freaking bear.
He was quick.
Yeah, he was amazing. And Gary's about to pull a picture up on him, but you'll see him in the video now. He's got the biggest smile.
Okay.
And he's a legend. He's up there with Kipchoge today. He's one of the all-time greats from Ethiopia.
2-hour marathon.
And I got the opportunity to meet him in Ethiopia, and I did this 1 kilometer.
Oh, there he is.
There he is, yeah.
There he is.
And we'll show you that video, and then I think we call it a night.
Yeah, fantastic. So let's have a look at the video, and then we'll play out after that.
We'll be fresh when we finish the run.
I'm going to be much more fresher than you because I'm going to challenge him. How far are we going? 1 kilometer.
It depends. It depends.
I think we need to push it to at least 10.
As long as I am in the front, don't worry.
Look at the back of my shoes. You're going to be seeing that. Familiarize yourself.
This one is the wrong one. And you see mine?
Hissing down with rain in Ethiopia. But this is such an honor and a privilege to be going on this little jog with this legend. Come on, why are you so slow?
What a legend.
It's about having fun and meeting incredible people on the journey. So we don't know where this will go, but
oh man, whatever it is, it's certainly given you a rich and so much experience and so much and to sort of start thinking about conservation in a kind of different way.
Yeah, that's what it's about, in a fun way.
Yeah.
Because if you take it too seriously, we're going to be fucked.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
And I just want to say thank you, Gino, because you've been
Paul,
a big supporter of our family business through the hard times.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's strength in numbers. We can't do this alone. And a little thing like this.
We need to get the word out. That's the thing.
And we need your help.
Yeah. And from an Eastern Cape family who's busy with the Eastern Cape, I absolutely love it. And I believe you're wanting to come back here as well.
We're seriously considering it. It's time. You know, the UK is just sucking everybody dry at the moment. It's a difficult place to be. And you look at all the problems in South Africa and it looks quite rosy.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So we've got I don't know if we do the competition, Gary, if we're going to do the compo. We've got a Fitch and Leeds give us a case of Fitch and Leeds to give away to somebody who's online. So we pull the lever. There we go.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
Can we add a night at Founders Lodge?
Oh, that will be amazing.
Let's do it.
It'll be amazing. It looks like Roseanne Erasmus. And we'll do another one. We'll do another one for the thing. Roseanne Erasmus, you have won the Fitch and Leeds. We'll be sending that to you as well, one of our winners. And now we've just got a night at Founders Lodge, which we can give as well to one of our people online. Fantastic. Let's see who's there. God Sampson, our weather guru. Magic.
I'll make that happen.
Sure. Fantastic. We can make that happen for you, Garth, as well. We'll get hold of us. We'll make a plan to get you a night at Founders Lodge. That'll be beautiful to have a bit of time out there.
Can we have the last word from Christian?
Yes, Christian. What do you get? Some wise words for our viewers.
I can't wait.
Some wise words.
Go on.
Give us a story. Give us a story. Something that happened that sticks in your mind.
A story?
Oh, one of our cameras has gone off there.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, I've got the other camera going. I don't know why that was. Switch the camera. Switch it there. Yeah, there we go.
There he is.
Okay. There we are. Okay. Give us a quick story about Paul. Come on, what can you tell us about Paul?
If you're ever in doubt with doing something in your life, you feel like, there's something you want to go out and do, which I always say this, you're scared to do it. Go to the fucking pub, have a few pints, wake up in the morning, and get on with it. That's my word.
Yeah!
Here's my man.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you very much. And thank you, Paul. It's been fantastic. Thank you to our sponsors, Fitch and Leeds, and also to Fat Cats for your amazing food, which we're going to have some now.
Yeah, we're going to eat now.
We're going to chow. We've got food here as well, properly. So thank you to all, and thank you to Amobia for our internet. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everybody.
Next week we're talking about, I think we're talking about Nyosi next week as well, which is fantastic. So we're going to have them on. Ciao, Christian. Lovely to see you, man.
Cheers, buddy.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.